Welcome to Michelle's Opinions. Today I want to talk to you about the hundreds of earthquakes that we're having within a short period of time. Two major ones, one at a 6.6 and one at a 7.1 within a 24-hour period, peppered with mini quakes, 1.5s up to 3.5s, or 4.0s, even up to 5s within this one location. I personally was affected by these earthquakes and felt them both. So I thought I'd share that with you. Um, it's always nice to hear from somebody that has actually been affected or felt or is on the scene of what is going on around us. So let's get to it. Um, I do want to give some updates on these earthquakes that have been going on, as I personally have been affected by them. Now, I just updated the map, so it's actually going to have up to today, which is July 7th, 2019. And as we can see here, you can see the bubbles, different bubbles are different, magnitudes and depths of the quake in each quake. There has been an onslaught of earthquakes going on for days now, just absolute days. And I'm going to go back to July the 4th and July the 5th, where we had those two mega quakes. But these ones are like 2.2s, 2.1, 2.4, 1.7. So it's kind of like what you would do, like the water's boiling, you're letting some steam out of the pot. Now, I have heard some people reporting on them and talking that it is actually on the San Andreas Fault. Well, I'm here to tell you that it's not on the San Andreas Fault, and I will show you images of that here in just a little bit, so that way you can take comfort in this is not the big one. This is something going on, but not the big one. So as we slide down here, we're going from day to day. And this one is a 2.2, 1.9, 2.2, 2.6, 2.0. And we're talking still Ridgecrest area. Ridgecrest and Searles Valley are very close to each other. So it's like Ridgecrest is a bigger town, but it's pretty spread out and it's very low populated. This is a deserty area. There's no crops out there. There's really nothing. It's pretty much a desert that goes between the 99, or some people would recognize it better as the 5, over to the 15 that will go up into Las Vegas, and it follows the 58 highway, which goes from the 5 to the 15, which is the dump out point is on the Vegas side is Barstow, and the dump out side is in Bakersfield, on the other side of that 58. So I'm just going to go down and show you what we have here. And as you see, these are constant quakes. They have not stopped. 1.7, there's another one, Ridgecrest 1.7, Lake China, there's another one in Searles, 2.1, 3.0, and so on. But these are all in this, you can see them just peppered. Wow, Rancho Cucamonga got a quake. Let's see. It's Fontana, California, but that is in Rancho Cucamonga. They got a 2.7. Okay, so now what I want to do is I'm going to come up here onto these two that were in Ridgecrest. Actually, they've listed it 3 times. It was a 7.1 when it first happened, and then it got downgraded to, I think, a 6.9, and now it's back up to a 6.1. And the day prior, we had one that was a 6.6 that was downgraded to a 6.4. So let's see what this here shows you. Okay, this for this week. And as you can see, the yellow around the area is all the area that would be impacted by the quake. So here we have the quakes, and you think about the 58 is running through it. We've got the 15 going up to Las Vegas here, sorry. And then we've got the Bakersfield, Fresno area. Fresno is about 150 miles north of the Bakersfield, Kern County area. This one went all the way down into the Los Angeles area and was felt all the way down to the Orange County area. Because when I called my parents the day before, they did not feel the 6.6 quake. But they sure were blowing my phone up the next day when they felt that 7.1. They were pretty shocked. But as you can see, they're all basically located in one area. But again, you see it as it's letting steam out of the pot. And the 7.1, oh, it did have 0 kilometer depth. Now it has 8 kilometer depth. They changed that stuff around so much. But it was a land-based earthquake, and now apparently they found some depth in it. But I think maybe they put the numbers out right when they hit those sensors, and maybe they don't have the depth quite yet. I'm not sure. But see, there we got China Lakes again, and a 5.4. These are all aftershocks that were felt throughout the day. This one actually caused such shaking. My chair was shaking. Things on the walls were shaking. I took my animals outside. Thought we'd go to the backyard. That was not safe because the pool looked unstable. So, but then by the time I came back up to the doorway to get their leashes, take them out front, the quake had ended. But with the 7.1, I got a pressure between my eyes and a dizziness feeling, which a lot of people will have those kind of things as side effects when you're in the midst of a quake line. And so, it's nothing to be concerned about except for trying to run in that state. You could fall. So, if you're trying to do a bug out or whatever to get out of the line of things, then, just be careful and, make sure you got your bug out bag prepared to get as far away from the quake. And in this case, from our location, we would just head north. And because I don't want to drive through it. That is just not happening. So I just wanted to share that with you. Let me see if I can find the July 4th. Okay, yesterday. So that's July 6th. This was from July 5th. I know this one was from the 5th. So I'm wondering if they have it on the 5th for the other one. Let's go back. Okay, it was not a 4.9. It was in the 6s. The 6s Richter scale. I'll find that and pull that up in just one moment. I have just sorted through hundreds of quakes. As you can see, by sorting through hundreds of quakes, I'm only about 4 hours ago from now. Now we did find the 7.1, which is great. But I think finding that 6 point, 6.6 is going to be a little more difficult. But then again, like I said, they downgraded it to a 6.4. But most of you are aware that we had a nice shake and quake on July 4th. And then we had a secondary one that was much larger and intense, and actually 5 miles more towards the west than the 6.6 was the day before. But still, as you can see on the map, it's all hitting the same area. Here's Ridgecrest, and it's in that mountain, not mountain, I'm sorry, it's in this desert flat plain here in between where you would take the like the highway 58 to get across to Barstow. So let's just go through a few, and I'll show you. Now we've had aftershocks. I think if they go over a 1.5, they will go ahead and mark them. Yes, 1.5. 1.8s are on here, 2.2s. But it's like letting steam out of the pot instead of having one big blowout all at once. That would be a 10 or off the scales, off the charts. So, and here we are. We're still only at 4 hours ago, and I am making this video at 7/7/2019 for a date stamper, and it is 1:33 a.m. in Pacific Standard Time. So, and like I said, we're 4 hours in, and this is the earthquakes that it is monitored. But they're small quakes: 2.2, 1.9, 2.4, 1.7, 1.6, 1.8, 1.7. And I'm going to leave the source link in the show more notes so you can come back and you can look at this for yourself. So if you have to bug out, you can plan your routes accordingly, especially since these seem to all culminate in the same little stretch. This is probably 20 miles altogether, and then it extended out to, like I said, all the way down to Orange County, which is from Ridgecrest down to Orange County is about 150 miles. And then it actually, Las Vegas was inside of the affected area, and now that's about 300 miles to the north, to the northeast. So, and we are 85 miles from the 7.1, but it went beyond us. So, when a big quake like that hits, it affects a lot of, with the ripple effect, it can extend out with just draw yourself a circle around the quake, and like a 500-mile radius in between there, depending on the size. Now these little guys, they'll feel them locally, but we more than likely won't. But when we have a big one, we will. See, now we're only at about 5 hours, and see how many quakes are going on. I mean, the list goes on, and all in this vicinity, all in the same vicinity. So, and like I said before, this is not the San Andreas fault. I will show you. It is a fault line, but it is not the San Andreas fault line, and I will show you that. Native Californian here. We moved away with my dad for work, and then my husband's job transferred him back. So we've always, even since childhood, been waiting for that big one, but it just hasn't happened. We've been very blessed. So here we are, still just 5 hours out. So you can tell I was really searching for that 6.6 to show you guys, and it would take quite a while, and I just want to make this a nice short video. Well, this is a nice good close-up of the area, with there's Ridgecrest right there. Ridgecrest is in the blue. So let's find the blue. That's calling it Searles Valley, California. And that's how close these places are. You know, even though it's listing them as a different town, Ridgecrest is a different town. So, you know, it's like little small towns, little townships on the outskirts of Ridgecrest. And like I said, Ridgecrest is not a highly populated area, but it is a large piece of land. Um, and it is in the deserts. Very hot. It's known for people to go out and go four-wheeling and things like that. And then actually it's pretty close to the mountainside. You can go straight from the desert up into the mountains and enjoy yourself and have a wonderful scenery and all that good stuff. But it gets very, very hot in this area, big time. Okay, now I will come back to you guys in just a second with the fault lines. Okay, here we're looking at the fault lines in California. Now, as you can see, this is the large San Andreas Fault. As you can see right here is a small fault line. And as we're looking at here, it's Fresno. And all of those were in this area here, reaching all the way out to Las Vegas. This last one going all the way past Los Angeles down into Orange County. All the way over here to the 5, or actually this could be the San Andreas. Excuse my mistakes. Please do your own research to look this up to make sure you are in a safe area. But if you see this little red line here, this is the line that all those quakes were close to. So it is not the San Andreas fault line. It's nothing to worry about. It's not going to break off California into the ocean or anything like that. I would believe, just by thinking it would knock California into the ocean, that this would be the fault line that people are taking into account. And of course, see, there's splinters off, and then we have a thick fault line here that goes all the way down to LA from San Francisco. I wouldn't want this one to blow. But like I said, these were all in this area here. And as you can see, there's not much. The closest fault line, I mean, it was really no fault lines in that area, but it sure could trigger them off. But it's like letting steam out of the pot with these 1.5s, 2.0s, and having hundreds of earthquakes within, a week's period. Well, we're actually hundreds within a day of these smaller ones, then with a few large pressure releases, which, like I said, they could cause dizziness, disorientation. Make sure that you're stable. Don't try running if you're feeling wobbly, or because those are signs of, the pressure being released can knock off your coordination. And it's best to have your bug out bag ready and get ready to get out of there without running or doing something if you're not in total balance and control because of the pressure. So here's the fault line, and I will again leave the link down in the show more notes so you can look at it better, or look into other ones that are easier for you to look at. There's an app that you can download to your phone if you are a California resident, or actually anywhere for that matter, if you want to keep up with what is going on. You'll get alerts on your phone and what to do if something was to happen. Um, this is what Channel 23, the Kern County Office of Emergency Services updates status earthquake recovery. Now, they have declared a state of emergency. The Kern County, it says, Kerr McKee Community Center provides safety for residents. Ridgecrest residents waking up to the damage following the second quake. So this was after the 7.1. It just smashed everything to the ground. Red Cross stands by at ready for those affected by the quake. And this is after the 7.1. If you were near Ridgecrest, this is the damage and things that you would have seen there. Now, I've heard that there's been explosions and things like that happening that are farther out than we are from the quake. Now, I don't know what the cause of those are, loose pipes or, what could have caused it. But we didn't have any problems with any pipes breaking in our area. All the car alarms went off. Swimming pools were not making the little waves that made my husband come running out on the 4th of July. But we actually had waves that hit against my backs. You guys have seen my pool on my posts, but it was over halfway up that water feature that's in the back, and it was off. So it made a wave so big. So that's where I decided to get the leashes for the dogs, because the backyard was not safe if it was going to continue on that route. It was really shaking us up. So this is a good place to find the most recent information and where to go. FEMA offers tips on helping kids deal with the trauma of the earthquakes, because it's pretty scary. And Kern County Office Emergency Services updates the status of the earthquake recovery from July 6th. So this is a good location to look. And here's some images of damages at pretty much, this is the SoCal rumbling, which is, with an aftershock at every minute. Kept knocking everything down. These kind of things happen. Pictures do fall down from walls, and things do fall over. That's why it is not safe to be in your house. The best place to go is, where for me would be outside in the front, in the middle of the street, away from any possibility of falling light posts or debris or any kind of glass that could hit us. So we would go out into the middle of the street. Unless we seen a car, we would move and then go back to the middle of the street where it is safe. Most people think it's, I was in Oklahoma for quite a while. The drills are pretty much similar to a tornado drill. Get under a table. Don't get in your bathtub. Get under something that is sturdy, that if something comes crashing down, that it can withhold whatever will crash down on it, and you'll be safe. The problem with that I have is getting out, because you can get trapped. And if you are already outside with everything of value, which would be your family, your pets, everything you hold dear to your heart, is the safest place to be. So just showing you guys a few of the articles that came out and what kind of things could happen indoors that makes it unsafe. One good blow to the head, and then it's just not pretty. A full bottle of anything that's in a glass casing can knock you out, and then anything else can just fall on top of you, and it's just best to get outside.
Yeah, Mike, Emma, the Ridgecrest community reeling from that 7.1 magnitude earthquake last night, but the family-owned store here in Ridgecrest, they've remained open despite the damage, serving their community. You can see behind the register broken bottles just covering the ground. Above the register, you see the roof caved in, but the family tells me despite the damage, they're staying ready and serving their community. Friday night, a 7.1 magnitude earthquake hitting the small town of Ridgecrest, larger than the initial 6.4 felt on the nation's holiday. Native Pat Turner's family near the epicenter of both.
Felt like I was going to tip over in it, and then there's smokestacks and everything over there, and I thought, oh my God, I'm going to die.
His 10-year-old son describing the moment.
First, it went really small, and then I'm like, okay, I think that's it. And then a big one shocked, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Officials reporting 1,800 customers without power. In this video, a local laundromat already damaged from the initial foreshock when the new tremors begin. You can see a mother grabbing her children and running out the door, and another woman and 2 children narrowly escaping before the roof collapses.
I actually was studying in my apartment, and I realized there was a little bit of shaking, and I knew that there was already an earthquake prior, so I called home, make sure everyone was okay.
Valerie Abdulati felt those shocks all the way in San Diego. The college student's family owns the East Ridge Market liquor store and had just cleaned up the aftermath of the initial quake.
All of the inventory's gone, but we're all together in a weird way, and we're all helping and supporting each other, and I think that's what family's about.
Now, hey guys, we're back here. The one thing that I would say, Mike and Emma, I know that you were here yesterday at this store. This family is resilient. We were here earlier when we first got on scene. There was a line out the door. They were actually taking people in one by one, and just, they're here. They love their community, and that's why they're remaining open despite this damage.
That's right, Josh. And just kind of a funny situation about this, not using the word funny, but interesting enough, you were just there yesterday.
Yeah, I was there yesterday talking with the manager. They had just cleaned up everything. So very sad to see that, that damage is once again impacting the store. But yeah, they were telling me that when that initial earthquake hit on the 4th of July, they stayed open. They said people were coming there to get supplies. It looks like they're doing that again today. So really a sense of community in Ridgecrest, and that's what I felt yesterday. It looks like that's going to be the
right, guys. And
today.
I just want to break in real quick.
Sure.
Valerie, the owner's daughter, Tony is the owner. His daughter Valerie, again, she felt that earthquake in San Diego. Guess what? She drove immediately here because she wanted to be a part of a family coming together and cleaning this store up and serving the community. Now, they are telling me they're going to remain open for a couple hours because, again, they want to serve as many people as possible. But then they have decided that they're not going to clean up. They're going to wait until hopefully these aftershocks end before they do one big cleanup and get it together.
All right, very good, Josh. We will check back in with you in just a little bit.
This week is the annual Shakeout Drill, the largest organized earthquake drill in the world. On Thursday, October 17th at 10:17 a.m., participants will simulate an earthquake wherever they are by dropping to the ground, taking cover, and holding on for 60 seconds. Unlike a drill, real earthquakes strike without warning and can be devastating to buildings, roads, and anyone near them. But there are steps you can take before an earthquake occurs that can minimize the effects of the quake when it happens. What can you do now to prepare for an earthquake? 1. Make a plan. Decide how your family is going to communicate if you are not all together when the earthquake hits. Locate safe spots in each room under a sturdy table or against an inside wall. 2. Secure appliances. The trouble with shaking appliances is that they are usually attached to utilities in your home like gas, electrical, and water lines. If they shake enough, these lines can rupture, causing more damage and increasing the hazard level of your home. Appliances like your water heater, stove, furnace, and refrigerator should be anchored to the floor or wall studs. 3. Secure shelves. Anchor the entire shelving unit to the wall or floor if possible. Keep heavy things low on shelves or on the floor. Build fences across the front of shelving units to hold your items on the shelf through the shaking. Installing covered doors or latches on existing covered doors can help keep your belongings from falling out. This is also applicable to your food storage. Having those heavy, fragile, glass mason jars you can tomatoes and peaches in fall of the shelf would create a huge mess besides ruining all the food. 4. Secure furniture and electronics. All heavy furniture that could topple, such as bookcases, curio cabinets, or televisions should be anchored to a wall or floor. 5. Secure hazardous liquids. Keep flammable liquids and poisons like weed killers, pesticides, solvents, paints, and even bleach and other cleaning products secured in a cabinet and outside the home if possible. 6. Decorate with earthquake safety in mind. Keep decorations located where they will not fall on people. Place beds away from windows and heavy hanging pictures or mirrors. Secure decorative items to shelves. Crystal clear museum wax works great. Hang pictures and mirrors using hooks instead of nails. Here's a hook specifically designed to be hard for a picture to shake off of. Secure potted plants that are hanging or sitting on a high shelf and could fall or swing to injure someone. 7. Check your home structure. Replace old wiring and gas or water lines that could break easily. Be sure any heavy light fixtures or ceiling fans are installed securely. Remove any old masonry chimneys that could fall through ceilings or walls. Perform any necessary repairs for added structural stability. 8. Hold earthquake drills with your family. Drop to the ground, get under something sturdy like a table or desk, and hold on for at least 60 seconds. Click here for a printable checklist to get your family prepared for an earthquake.
Although I just gave you that list of to do, which is printable, and that link will also be in the show more notes, always have a meet up spot for your family. And like I said, depending on how close you are to the 0 point of the quake will determine how long it lasts, the aftershocks, how quickly they will come, and there's a lot of things to take into consideration. So we've got to make sure that it is a safe place where we can all meet up together and take into account whether they have vehicles, how easy it is for them to get to the meet location, and make it as easy as possible to round up your family and get on the road. Have your bug out bag with some bare necessities, maybe a change of clothes, a little bit of food, water, and just the bare necessities. Credit cards, maybe an extra gallon of gas, because you don't know how far and how wide of the vicinity that has been impacted that you're going to have to trudge through as you find your way out. Always check for where the 0 point is of the quake and how it is expanding out, because the last thing you want to do is drive into the thick of it or towards the earthquake 0 point. You want to be driving away from it and getting as far away as possible to keep yourself safe and your family safe. Make sure that you've got your animals and just a little bit of pet food. Our animals are part of our family. And actually, one of the things that I've learned to live by, that if I see the birds flying in a certain direction, I tend to want to follow the direction the birds are going, because they have intuition, instincts. Same with dogs, cats. If they're running in a certain direction, they're running away from the harm. It's built into them. So if you've got an animal that is running out wild, follow them. They're heading to safety if you are disoriented. And like I said, the closer you are to the quake, the longer the duration it could be or feel for you. The further out you are, You know, it could be a minute to 4 minutes long, but still, that's a long time to be in the middle of an earthquake that can disorient you from the release of the pressure. Safety first. Get your family to safety, and then worry about going back and helping others. So, you know, with everything, share what you know so we can all listen and grow. And as I've been impacted by both of the large quakes, I can just only imagine what is going on in the Ridgecrest area and how horrible it is even to have all of these aftershocks as their roofs are falling in, their goods are falling off the walls, and it's very, very dangerous. And as I was saying before, how easy it could be to get buried underneath of a table where it could take hours or days before somebody could even find you. So always be safe, take care of yourself, and be aware of your surroundings. Awareness, the more aware you are, the exit route that you'll take, have several of them made, because you never know which one is going to be the best for that moment. I love you all. Have yourself a wonderful day. I'll talk to you soon. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell to be notified of new postings, premieres, and live shows. If you'd like to sponsor the channel, the links are below. I have both Patreon and PayPal. And thank you, channel supporters. Without your support to keep things going, I don't know where I would be. It's people like you and your generosity that helps the work improve and for us to be able to grow. Thank you.